Hey, Tony Gas is here. Well, seeing that Diddy settled that lawsuit, and now what that implies to me is some people will think that, oh, that's just a money grab, and oh, he just did it just so he don't have to go through the trial. But one thing a man cares about is his name. So if you innocent, you ain't paying no money. If you innocent, you gonna do what Johnny Depp did, think that's his name, and you going to trial. You gonna do what Jonathan Majors did. You going to trial. You trying to prove something because you care about your name. But with the allegations that she made, had she been lying, the defamation suit, the level of a defamation suit that Diddy could levy on her would have been so intense, it'll bankrupt her for life. So if she was even telling a fraction of a lie, with all of the brand deals and everything that he have going on, he would have went on to court and filed a defamation suit and had her paying him for the rest of her existence. But that kind of speaks to what really went down, what happened with this situation. And so in this, you got to think about that. But this is a warning shot. He went through this for every man who is into some tomfoolery and haven't been caught up, whether you're a celebrity or not. If you take your grace for granted, eventually that grace will no longer be granted. And so you have to get out of there. And this is the thing. I know, like, it's some women who will lie. And so it's not a one size fits all, because some women will tell them a lie. But you have to look at everything involved. You got to look at the woman. You got to look at what she got going on. You got to look at what she come from. You got to look at who she is. There's a lot that goes into it. And just her personality, her type. So somebody like Cassie, like, I could more so see somebody who is out there and, loud and boisterous and in the drama, starting stuff. I can more so see somebody like that coming out and telling them a lie. But somebody who mind their business, they stay out the way, they behind the scenes. And a lot of times you could see Cassie, like, when you see her in public, she looked like she was drugged, or she looked like she just had a glaze over her eyes, like she looked like a robot. You didn't really see like life in her. And so when I read what I read, I'm like, that makes sense, because that's what she looked like. She looked like she was going through something like that. And what you have to realize is, a lot of people don't realize this, but most women don't tell. Most women do not tell. And the reason being is because when a woman tells, it also makes her look away. People also are looking at her strange, whether she the victim or not. They looking at her strange. They looking at her different. Also, her bedroom is on the TV. All her business is in the streets. So now, anybody who see Cassie, when she take her kids to school, when another man look at her, what he's going to see is, he's going to see her, in his mind, he going to see her sleeping with a bunch of different men forcefully for months, because Diddy made her. So a man is going to wonder, like, man, I wonder how many men. I wonder what it was like. I wonder, and I don't know how a woman think, but that's how men think. So she won't ever be able to get away from those images. Also, her husband has to live with this for the rest of his life. Every man knows, and some women may know too, but every man knows, like, it's a lot of guys who, once you find out something about your woman dealing with another man, you never forget that. You gonna think about that the rest of your life. You're gonna have certain nights to where it wake you up in a dream. It's just because men are territorial, and when a man has a woman, a man want that woman to himself. Ironically, because then some men want to spread themselves thin and be with all these different people. So what you have to realize is, that's going to greatly impact her marriage. Like, men don't necessarily, men are not wired like a woman. Like a woman may be able to look into this situation if it was her man and have empathy. And not to say her husband can't have empathy, and he may have empathy and he may have emotional intelligence, but the brain is the brain. The brain is on a loop. The brain is going to process. Her husband is going to have visuals of other men's private areas entering his wife and exiting his wife, and it's going to be very vivid, and it's going to be very violent. It's going to be very real. He got to live with that the rest of his life. So you got to realize, like, there's no amount of money worth what she went through, and there's no amount of money worth what her husband gonna have to go through, but then also what her children are gonna have to imagine. Picturing your mom sleeping with countless men, with hundreds of men forcefully because another man made her. How does you picture that right now, and then ask yourself, is there any amount of money that's worth your mom going through that, or you having to picture that, and you having to go to school? And anybody who's ever gone to school, you know, kids don't care about your feelings. So as soon as her children are of age, there's going to be some idiot in the classroom that is making gang rape drug jokes. There's going to be some idiot that's making P. Diddy jokes against the mom. And so the one sadistic part with somebody who would do something like what Diddy did is he get to live rent-free in her head for the rest of her life. But if he is sadistic enough to do that, he gonna move on with his life and be able to numb his thoughts and feelings with the weed and the pills and everything else he get into. But she have to be a prisoner in her mind, and it's nothing that you could do. Like, she could go to therapy every day for the rest of her life, but that ain't gonna take her brain off of a loop. If you know your mind, you know your mind. It has a recollection, and that memory, it gets on a loop, and it just stays on that loop, and it'll be on that loop as long as it need to be, and then it'll get off that loop, but then it might get back on that loop a year, 2 years later. So the brain will bring us memories from 20 years ago randomly, and it may just because of a sensory thing, something we smell, something we hear, something we see, and then the brain, it associates that thing with what we saw or experienced, good or bad, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And when you pay attention to your mind, you start to realize this. So it really upset me to see men mostly, and then some women saying, oh, this was a money grab. It's like, read what that woman went through, and then you ask yourself, what amount of money could somebody pay you to go through that, what she went through? Like, get over here in this car seat and get kicked in your face over and over and over and over, and then have to go to a hotel and have to stay in that hotel to heal up for a week from your bruises and battering, and then go on you a website and let somebody make you pick somebody that you don't even know, when you've been raised respectfully, when you got parents, you've been raised respectfully, and you was put in the school of arts, and you was supported by your parents to become a singer, and then you meet this mogul who has this huge name and can change your life, and then now the next thing you know, this mogul has you getting on a website picking random strangers that you got to go sleep with in front of him so he could record it and get off to it. Picture that in your mind and walk yourself through that in your mind, literally having someone force you to do this, and then ask yourself, what kind of money is worth this? And the thing about it is people are alleging that P. Diddy set up Tupac or Biggie. A woman is not going to take the chance of losing her life. Now, a man that's on drugs, somebody strung out on the streets, like, look at the man who just got arrested for the Tupac murder. Look how many years it took a man to say something about taking somebody's life. Like, look how many years it took him. That man ain't go through none of what Cassie went through, and this man just not talking how long Tupac been gone. So you got to think about this logically. This ain't no money grab. Like, this is a claw for freedom. This trying to get some semblance of normalcy, some semblance of self-worth, of strength to say, I am worthy. I am somebody. Like, let me do this to show my daughter to stand up and fight for yourself, to show my son that his mama love herself, to fight back against those in power. That's what this about. And so you can't take those few bad instances where somebody just completely lied and they completely made something up and then paint with a broad stroke every other woman who come out and say something. Because when you think about this logically, you're not like, I'm scared to even make this video because of what I believe about Diddy. I'm scared to even make this video, but I got to make it to speak up, to say, if you going through something, speak up. If you going through something, don't take your life. Don't ruin your life. Don't live the rest of your life a prisoner. Speak up. Fight back, because you could die on your knees or you could die standing up. You get a choice. So fight back. Don't let somebody control you, dominate you, destroy you. Stand up, love yourself, and respect yourself, because at the end of the day, if you settle for it, you still gonna end. We all got to go one day. So whatever you settle for, it still could take you out. But you could stand up for yourself when you muster up the courage to know that it ain't just about you. What she did, now she done liberated thousands of women who getting hands put on them, who is being forced into threesomes, being forced into other type of things. She done liberated them. She done showed them that, hey, you can stand up for yourself. You can fight back. Yeah, the other women who going through this, they ain't going to be able to get no settlement. They ain't going to be able to get no money from it, because it probably ain't with somebody that got Diddy money. So they just doing it for a peace of mind. And this is what we got to realize and understand, man. This thing is real. And to y'all men out there, don't take your grace for granted. Like, don't be a piece of crap. Like, get your life together. Get you some healing. Get you some therapy. Stop putting hands on women. Stop dogging women out. Stop cheating on women. Stop using human beings for your sick fantasies and pleasures. And be a man. Heal. Grow. Get to know God. Change your life. Live your life in the dark the way you would want somebody to believe you living in the light. And be a good person. Be a better person. Grow up as a man. Get your life together. Stop taking other people's life into the dumps and ruining other people's life just because your life has been ruined. Just because of your childhood trauma. Go work on yourself. Heal. Get you some knowledge. Get you some wisdom. Get you some strength. Get to know your creator and change your life. Be renewed from the inside out. And stop destroying other people just because you feeling sick and disgusting and dark. Go get you some light. Go get you some health and healing. Change your life and be a real man. And then when you change your life, be a real man, help other men become men. This is what we need. We need real men. We don't need sick, disgusting, perverted monsters who are beholden and a slave to an orgasm. We need men with discipline, self-control, self-love, self-respect, and be able to be positive, healthy, whole citizens. Stop operating from your ego. Stop operating from your insecurity. Stop trying to take somebody's life because your feelings hurt. Stop trying to hurt somebody just because you hurt. Instead, go get healing and then bring healing to others. Be something in this life before you die. Don't die a social security number. Find your purpose. Change your life. Turn your mess into your message and do something that God and your mama could be proud of and your daddy could be proud of. Be somebody. Grow up and be a man.